Hello, Mr. J again. How are you doing? So we're going over that Inferno demo you sent me first. So this game was kind of a farm game for you. I'm gonna be honest. There's not a whole lot that I can say. Hoping I can milk enough out of this to make it an entertaining video for you. But um, yeah, you kind of just farmed them. It got close in the end, and your CT side was a bit rocky, but all in all, it turned out okay. So I'm going to go through chronologically once again just to kind of see everything that happened in that demo and see what advice I can give you. So to start off with pistol round, when you came up steps, you were instantly holding this off of spawn. Like they could be down here. You can be a bit more proactive. And it seemed like your goal was to go towards A. You really don't need two guys bottom steps. If you're going steps with more than one person, then you guys should be flying out mid into like Mexico or something and trying to punish them for peeking mid. Maybe buy a P250 or something and take some ranged engagements. Or you can just leave that one guy there to kind of make noise and join your friend's ult and be more of a pack of T's running at them instead of just a group, you know what I mean? The extra numbers on Glock rounds mean a massive amount. So second round, a little bit unfortunate you naded yourself. You got blocked a little bit, so you chucked a nade on yourself. That didn't make it much easier. But you also your team went into banana with 4 guys against not the greatest buy. They won the round with like 1 dude or 2 dudes alive. So you were right to force back, but you should have played a bit slower. They didn't have much util, so you should have been able to wait them out and kind of been slower and make them struggle a bit more. You guys took like 200 damage off rip because of all the nades down here. So just delaying it, throwing like a window flash, which is this flash here, is absolutely massive and would have saved a whole lot of damage for your team. But yeah, round 3, that's when you kind of started to play towards ult. You're throwing like the old school kind of lineup where you run and throw like that. The easier lineup, because I fall asleep doing that one. I don't know why, but like I used to throw it like that. Now I throw it down here. You aim at the base of the building under the window, and then when you pass the shadow down there, you jump throw. It'll get there a little bit faster. You have to spend less time paying attention to like when to throw it and release it and all that. And it's a lot easier to line up. You just run throw it, and you don't have to think too hard about it. So I do prefer that lineup. It works on 64 tick, 128 tick. It doesn't matter. It's super general. So yeah, but this round later on into it, you came to boiler, and your teammate got fought by someone close mid, and you tried to come out here and trade them, which, you know, I like the instincts. Going for a trade kill is always nice, but it's really hard to trade from boiler, and you know that was kind of proven by the guy that was lane holding it, and you came out and he shot you in the back, and your teammate won the engagement there anyways. So yeah. So yeah, if you're in boiler, just be a bit more of a baiter. You can always like hold angles like this, where you might you might catch his ass on his fallback, or you can come up here and while that's happening, take a fight on the boiler guy or something, or on the lane guy or something, instead of running out and really committing to that. Round 4, you guys took mid. You came up here. I think you mollied pit. I don't remember right. But you threw a flash high like this. Instead of doing something like that, just come close to this wall or like back in there in this corner, and then just throw it over the balcony. It'll be lower. It'll land further towards pit, so it'll blind any pit players that are holding apps. If they're back in like the corner over here, they'll get blinded. You know, they have to be like up here or something, or like there's not a lot of spots they can stand that they won't be blinded. Somebody on top of balc playing a deep angle like this will be blind. Someone in mini pit will dodge it. But there are other flashes for this guy, you know? And he's not really the issue right now. So yeah, just chucking it over like this will blind anyone's sight pretty much. So that's kind of like the way most people are doing it nowadays. But for pretty much most of your T side, you kind of just farmed them. Round 7, it came down to a 2-on-3. Well, both your players were ult. You guys had the bomb. But the last guy to die on your team was T-Steps because the CDs had pushed down and kind of collapsed on him. So my recommendation, you guys tried to like come back and fight them in T-Steps, and it really is like a really passive thing to do. It's kind of scared. You had so much space towards ult You were a lot closer to A than you were to B, so I would just say keep going towards A. Make sure the map can't like collapse on you the way it did, where they can find out where you are and are able to completely pin you in and throw nades and stuff and make it a hard fight for you. Just kind of walk towards A with your teammate and try and take A site, I guess, would be my recommendation in a situation like that. But of course, like when it's low numbers like that, it's kind of like everything's so like feeling based. If you felt confident in just killing that guy ramp and then like going towards B and that's what you wanted to do, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Every single clutch, it's all feeling based, and just trust your gut for the most part. So I can't really say anything that you did was bad. It's just I would have played it probably differently in that specific scenario, of course. But yeah, that was pretty much the half. You really just aim mapped them the whole time. As we move over to CT side, where things got a bit sketchier, you played on Balk a lot of rounds, right? One thing I would like to see would be a bit more diversity on how you played it, because pretty much every round you came up here, and then you threw a smoke like this, and then you kind of one-wayed under it towards boiler. The way that a lot of people throw the smoke that's a little bit better would be you come back on the railing, and then inside of the door frame is where I line it up. It's pretty general, but as this fades, I'll show you. You aim it like the little like latch, like where it connects. If you aim there, it'll always land flush enough so we can see boiler, you can see lane, and it won't really obstruct you. So that's how I always throw that smoke. Because you did seem to like it, and it's always a good thing to throw because you can have a lot of deep info. But the next thing I would talk about would be you played either balcony or you played in sight. A lot of people refer to the halls player as the pit player because pit's the strongest spot that they can play. Pit is such an insane spot, so I'd work pit more into your arsenal instead of playing on top of balc or playing cold box every round. Because there are so many times when you can do a lot from halls. There's like mollies you can throw deep here, usually like 139, I'll chuck that. You can do some spamming. If they're not spamming from bridge, then that's super safe to do. But then you can just leave. You can hold on to your smoke is one of the biggest tips I'd have for you. Right click your smoke down here. When the execute comes, like when they're actually committing up, like you'll see them around the corner lane, right click that smoke down, and you can stay alive in it is your goal as a pit player. Your goal isn't to swing wide and kill 6 of them. Your goal is to sit there in the smoke and make sure that they don't kill you. If they come to kill you, then you kill them, but if they are respecting you, you respect them. You respect their wishes. It's very polite. Let them come into sight and plant. If you're alive in pit, the retake is so much easier. Because A site on this map is a nightmare to retake most of the time. So yeah, be a bit more diverse. Playing top balc isn't bad. It has a lot of sick angles. It's really hard for tees to clear. You get a lot of kills playing it, and it's really easy to hold from. But eventually, it's going to be a bit predictable, and if they halls pop on you, like they come out halls with flashes, then you will be boned. So playing pit's really nice. And then the last kind of piece of advice I would have would be not until the last round of the game. You were the pit player the entire half. You should never really leave towards arch. Right? You came up here, and then you walked up trying to like refight it from arch, which gave them the site for free. You were down a man, and I think it was a 4-on-5 or something. Or even a 4-on-4 it might have been. But it was very hard for you guys to get back in. The only reason you did is because 2 of them were looking the wrong way, and they got shot in the side of the head. But still, even then, it came down to a 1v1, and it's just not worth the risk to leave your post as the A anchor. Like playing pit and staying alive there, you get info, you smoke yourself off, and then your whole team's coming, and you may be down a man, but you're in a great spot compared to the down a man retake, you know? So, yeah. Either when a hit's coming in as the pit player, if you're on top of balc, you have a couple options. You can fight and hold from here. You can push into apps and try and find somebody there. Or you can drop into pit and play your life for as long as possible. So those are kind of like the few different ways to kind of play that spot. I've got another video that I did for a pit player. He's a bit of a lower rank than you, but a lot of the same kind of ideas apply when playing Pit. So I'll link you that one as well. But yeah, that's really all I've got for the Inferno demo. And then I'll probably do the Dust 2 one tomorrow. But yeah, but if you have any questions, just let me know, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks.